So let's summarize the things. When it's the price ceiling, if the government sets down the price above the equilibrium, it is the not binding case, which means it does not affect the economy. If the government puts the price ceiling below the equilibrium, then this is the binding case, which means economy is affected. That refers that it will force the suppliers to go for shortage because they will not be willing to supply the product less than $1. So they will supply only the 30 units at $1. That will create a big queue by the demand. And what happened? Same happened in example related to 1970, the supply shock oil, if you remember that I gave in the class. When the government sets down the price and the supply move the production down, and they realize that the price of the oil was above what has been mentioned. Guys, do you have any problems with the voice? With the sound? Sometimes, no, a little bit, sometimes. So those who have the sound, it's most probably due to your internet connection. So please, if I'm talking fast, just let me know. I will repeat it, I will review it again, because it is very important to understand the price ceiling and price floor, how it affects the economy itself. Okay, let us continue then. Okay, this is all about a price ceiling. Now we will move to the price floor. We said the price ceiling is the maximum price. Now the price floor is the minimum. Okay, you can screenshot this part if you want. I will delete it. Actually, let me save it so that I'll put it in this file, this picture. I will upload it in Moodle. You can download from the Moodle as well, guys. Okay. Now let us talk about clear all drawings. Not all, but I don't know, this. Okay. Now let's go with the drawing. Make it black. This is supply. This is demand. So price, quantity, demand, supply. And let me draw the equilibrium. So we said this is to be at 3 bags. This is to be 55 units. Okay. $55 units. And this is the equilibrium, you said, where both suppliers and demanders satisfied. And coming to the price floor. Price floor, it is the minimum price that the government wants the product to be sold. Okay. If you remember, we gave the example of labor market, where laborers and employers concerning about the salary. Let's say suppliers are those, so S is referring to the supply of laborers, and D is referring to the demand for laborers. Who are the demand for labor? They are the companies, firms. Let me just put it like this. Firms. Okay. Now, supply are the people who supply the labor force, like a household, the people who graduated from the university, they're getting into the workforce and they're trying to supply their work or they're trying to find a job. And the demand for the labors. And the best thing is here is equilibrium, where the suppliers, the laborers, and the companies are satisfied at this salary. But let me change the salary amount, make it a bit higher. Let me make it, let's say, 500 bucks. Okay. So everybody is happy at $500. Okay. At $500. So which means that supply of the laborers who are willing to find a job, they will be highly satisfied if they are offered $500 salary. And demand for the labor, they will be satisfied if they offer $500 for their labors, not more than this and not less than this. So if the government puts a price floor, which is minimum, the government says, look guys, do not go below this salary. So your salary should not be below, let me just use different color of drawing. Here's the price floor. Price floor. Price floor. Minimum. And they set down the price to be $300. And in this case, you tell me, is it $300 going to affect the economy or not? Is it binding or not binding case? You can write in the chat if you want, so that I can see it. Is it binding or not binding effect? Okay, Rufina, not binding, not binding. Great, that's perfect that you really understood the logic behind it. Because it doesn't matter, now everybody's happy with $500, they don't have to go below. This is the point where they are satisfied. So for the price floor, if the price equilibrium is, price floor is below the equilibrium, it is not binding case. We're gonna put down in words in here a little bit later. If the government put the price floor to be above the equilibrium, let's say here, they say, look, companies or the firms, the salary you pay, I'm not satisfied either. If you talk about the household, make your salary to be $1,000. If the government makes $1,000 in here, the salary to be, so they say the minimum salary, the labor they get in the workforce should be $1,000, not less than this. What they create in here, can you write it? Very good. Unemployment will increase. There will be a surplus of labors, yes? Unemployment, this is very important. So this dashed area will be called unemployment. Unemployment. Unemployment will increase. And surplus of labors. Surplus of labors. Good. So I think is this enough to explain the relationship between price ceiling and the price floor with demand and supply economy. Now we need to proceed to the examples that we have got in here in the end of the chapter questions. Please write down if you have any questions. You want me to explain again? If not, let me just finalize it and you understand better. So if, let me put it like price ceiling if price is below equilibrium in a price ceiling. If the price is below equilibrium, it is binding or not binding. Write it. Very good. Very good, Arjan. Binding. Very true. Demand will be higher. Then let's go with price. Oops. Pricing. If the price is above the equilibrium, it is a not binding case. Okay, this is all about price ceiling. What about floor? Let us write down price floor. If the price is below equilibrium in the price floor, is it binding or not binding? Not binding. Very good. Okay, we're coming. Price floor above the equilibrium. And of course, it is binding the case. That's good that you really figured out everything. So now I will save, oops, okay, that'll be like this. I will save it as well and upload it in Moodle so that you can reach it to review it for yourself at home. That's great. Now I saved it as well. Now, let me move to end of chapter questions. Share the screen. I will share the screen. Okay, now I share the screen. Okay, here's the question. Let me just, I took some notes. What question we'll go with? Question, okay. Question for review, okay. Give an example for price ceiling and for price floor is good. We did it already. There is no need to do it. Which caused the shortage of goods, price ceiling or the price floor? Okay, you answer this question, guys. Which of the price regulation causes a shortage of goods, ceiling or the floor? Write down in the chat, please. Okay. Aruzhan is not the floor. Rufina is not the floor. Floor is giving what? A surplus. Think graphically. The ceiling, just keep in mind, the ceiling is always giving a shortage and floor is giving a surplus, okay? Okay then. Okay, with this question, we're moving forward. Okay, now, the lovers of classical music persuade Congress to impose the price ceiling $40 per concert ticket. As a result, this policy do more fewer people or attend the classical music concert. So in here, please think and write it down. Suppose a price ceiling is $40, which is a below equilibrium price. So what will be the explanation? You can give a voice if you want. You can make it voice, more or less. Price ceiling, please. What will happen as a result? So what will happen to the number of people who attended? Decrease or increase? Okay, Rufina, you're telling the truth. The demand will increase, but what will happen in general, the quantity of the people? Is it going to increase or decrease? Remember what the price ceiling causes. No, Arjan, it's not a surplus. Price ceiling causes a shortage. Quantity of people will decrease. The quantity of people will decrease. Very true, Amir. Because why? A shortage reduces the quantity of tickets. So less tickets available, which means less people will attend, even there is a high demand. So the question in here, does the people, how many people attend are more or less? Now we are saying less. So the quantity will go down because of the shortages. Remember, price ceiling, it causes a shortage, a price floor causes surplus. So this is the keywords that you should keep in mind, and it will help you to get the right answer. Now, let's move to the second question. The government has decided that the free market price of cheese is too low. Suppose the government impose a binding price floor in the cheese market. So they say draw the supply and demand diagram to show the effect of this policy on the price of the cheese and the quantity of the cheese sold. Is there a shortage or surplus of cheese? So before drawing anything, look, they are telling us to do a binding price floor, guys. Is it shortage or surplus? Tell me. Surplus. Floor, there is always surplus. Very true. If we go to draw it, we're going to draw as we draw it before for the floor with a labor market. So let me draw it in here. Oops, let me use the black like this. Supply, demand. This is equilibrium. This is quantity. This is price. So, and the price floor binding is here, guys. So, which means this is a surplus. So they will create a surplus. Okay, now I can erase this. Thanks. Great. Let's move to the second question. Producer of cheese complain that the price floor has reduced their total revenue. Is this possible? And explain. Please think, is it possible that it has been reduced? And demand is elastic. So remember, when the demand is elastic, which means a small change in the price will bring large change in the quantity. If the price floor set down above the equilibrium. Let me draw it once again so that we can make it clear. This is supply, this is demand. Let me draw it here. Supply, demand. Okay. And this is price floor. And this is the equilibrium. This is equilibrium. So we can see that the price floor is above. Now, this is supply, this is demand, this is price floor. And let's say what happens to the question. The producer of cheese complain. So if the demand is elastic and with the price floor that has been set down above the equilibrium, there will be surplus of demand. But read the question again. Producer of Chinese cheese complain that the price floor has reduced their total revenue. Is it true or not? A small change in the price, a big change in the demand will reduce total revenue. That's true, Arujan. Is it possible? As an example, the situation with unemployment companies gets less revenue. Very true. Very true, Rafina. So it is possible. That's good. This is an explanation that we look for, actually. Buyers decide how much cheese to be bought. Yes, because D is elastic. People will buy if the price floor above the equilibrium. Okay. Let us move on. In response to the cheese producer, impose the binding, sorry, just got lost. In response to cheese producer complaints, the government agrees to purchase all surpluses cheese of the price floor compared to the basic price floor. Who benefits from this new policy? If the government decided to buy these surplus of products, because demand they will not buy at higher price, who will benefit? True, sellers. But what is the disadvantage of it? If the government purchases all the surpluses, eventually, as a consequence, we can say that the government will charge higher taxes for the sellers in order to compensate that subsidy that they have already provided. Just keep in mind. So sellers, they benefit, and the taxpayers, they will lose it in a future time. So suppliers, they get benefit because their product has been purchased. At the end, when they pay the taxes, they will pay higher taxes. This is how the economy works. Okay, this is question 2. Let us move to question 3. Now, guys, what I like mostly, please get piece of paper, like in the class. Try to solve this question. What does the government do with the cheese after it buys it surplus? Eats it. They will eat it. Joking. Okay, what they do actually, when it means they're buying it, they're providing the subsidy for it. They're giving the money, kind of they're buying it. Or sometimes they may buy it for their own purposes to distribute in the hospital and etc. So it depends on the product. So there is no problem that they may not find a place where they can allocate this bought cheese. So there are many places can be distributed like government or kindergartens and so on. Yes, now guys, try to do the third question. It's very easy. And do it on the paper. Okay, don't do it in here. Just do it on paper. Put your name, say surname on the paper. Do it. Write down on your paper and take a picture and send it in WhatsApp to me now. But send it in the group, WhatsApp, in microeconomics group, okay? Waiting now. Just start doing it. I think, how many questions we have here? Oops. There are 3 questions, A, B, C. Do it on your paper and send it by WhatsApp. Do this question number 3. Here. A and B, C. If you don't know what is the frisbee, it's like a sport item. Just want to show you what is the frisbee. Here, you're throwing it to, it's a kind of type of sport you're doing, frisbee, okay? Not a group. For each should be one paper. Alim and Amina should write a separately. Like, especially Abzal. Abzal, there is no group work, you should write your own. For attendance, I don't have to take the attendance. I can see who participated. The conferences is being recorded. When you finish, just let me know, and I will finish with one news, which is very important news as well, related to our subject. And then I will see you next week. But first of all, finish the question. Once you finish, let me know, and we'll proceed further. Can you explain question B? Yes, of course I can. Now, coming to the question B. Frisbee manufacturer persuade the government that the frisbee production improves the scientists' understanding of aerodynamics and thus is important for national security. A concerned Congress votes to impose a price floor $2 above the equilibrium price. And what was the equilibrium price? Equilibrium price was $8, as you have wrote before. Here, $8. And if the government imposed price floor of $2, which means that the price will be $10. Look at how it looks like. And what is advice to you guys? First of all, not to be lost, draw it. Okay, you should draw it so you don't lose yourself. Here, if it's the case, change to the black. So this is supply, this is demand, and this is the equilibrium. Okay, this is $8, we said, and quantity, as you can see, 6. The quantity is 6. Now, and the government imposes a price floor. And we said the price floor is the minimum price. If the price floor is above the equilibrium, it causes a surplus. So price floor should be by $2 more, which is $10. Okay, $10. So you can see there is a surplus. So which means it forced the suppliers and demand to go to the $10. What will happen? There will be a surplus. So with the price of floor of $10, new market price will be $10 because the price floor is binding. There is no way not to be affected. So everyone should move to this point. At price of $10, I hope everyone is following me. At price of $10, the economy will shrink. The production will go down. So this is, so you can see what will be the quantity demanded and what will be the quantity supplied. At $10 here, guys, at $10, the quantity demanded is $2 and quantity supplied is $12. So in here, we're going to have 2, and in here, we're going to have 12. So at that price, only 2 million frisbees are sold because that is the quantity demanded. You cannot force demand to buy more than whatever they needed and what they can be able to buy it. So there will be only 2 quantity demanded. That surplus, the government should purchase it back, this frisbee. But this is another question, what they're gonna do with this frisbee. And go with the question C. Sabina, did I answer your question? If you finish, send the answers to the WhatsApp group, microeconomics group, so I can record it there. Let me save it. This one saved as well. I saved this one as well so that you can remember. But it should be handwriting. Have you finished part C? If not, let's finish it and proceed. Okay, guys, you will send it to me. I'm giving you more time to finish it. Let me just. Okay, guys, this is very nice. I can send you the screenshots from here. Good. I found a way to send it as well. That's great. You can download the screenshot, by the way, in here. I'm sending you so that I don't need, but anyway, I'll upload it. Yeah, good. It's very good visible. Nice. Great. Shall I give you a hint for the question 3? Part C, sorry. Look, it says a price ceiling, not a price floor. Look, college students, Washington, and demand reduction in the price frisbee. And even more concerned, Congress was to repeal the price floor and impose a price ceiling. You see, $1 below the former price floor. So the price floor was $10 here, and now they put the price ceiling here, below this $10. So here, it will be $9. So if it's $9 and it's a price ceiling means a maximum price they should go. They shouldn't go above this $9. So is it binding or not binding case? This is very easy to answer. Okay, 22 people sent. And please don't send anything. It's very nice that you just written down. Very nice. Wait, you wrote it's a binding case. Why it's a binding? Price ceiling. This is price floor. The yellow one is price floor. The green one is the price ceiling. If the price ceiling is above the equilibrium, it does not affect the economy because it's a maximum price. They're already satisfied. But however, there is with some conditions, it is binding if the price equilibrium was $10. and our price equilibrium is $8, guys. It should be not binding. If you wrote binding, it's not a big deal. Whatever you sent, you sent. I'm not gonna grade it for like wrong answers. The most important thing that is to understand, like you are following me clearly. So if the price ceiling is above the equilibrium, it's not binding case. This is what you should remember. Okay, let me check where everyone sent. Okay, I think I received all of them. Great. Now, let us start. Let us continue. There, I'll take more to 3 minutes and I'll let you go. Let me just erase this. Okay. Okay, this is the news that I wanted to share with you, that rates cut, which means the US government decided to cut their interest rate almost to 0. Sabina, that's very true. If the price is above the equilibrium, it is not a binding case. So US cut the interest rate. That means that if the US cut the interest rate, that will stimulate economy. In here, you can see that Subherence is reaching, like, launches a huge stimulus program, which means if they increase money supply by reducing the interest rate, they will affect the demand. The demand will increase, it will increase the consumption and quantity. As the quantity increases, that will increase the supply. As the supply increases, that will increase employment. They will hire more people to supply to the corresponding demand, etc. So this is how it should work in theory. And what it's going to be applied in a practice, we will see after 3-4 months what happens after changes of interest. So they cut almost to the 0 interest rate to motivate people to get more loan and buy more goods and services. Okay, guys, that's all what I wanted to share with you today. I want to get a feedback as well. How was the lecturing? Is there anything that needs to be improved, or there is any way that you want to suggest something, recommend? That will be great, because it is the first time we are using the Zoom program. It's online, and that will be great if you put some feedback, whether it was clear or not. Okay, guys, I'm offing the conference. Thank you very much. It was nice to see you in here, and wish you a healthy break, kind of break, we can say. Be healthy. Okay, guys, see you then. Okay, who is writing? Nurbike, I will speak louder as much as possible. Thank you for this comment.